This conference will now be recorded.
Perfect. So, we were talking about Python, so I would need the Jupyter notebook. I have also shown you how you can run the Python commands on terminal as well as Jupyter notebook. So, we'll be using Jupyter notebook for this practice session. Perfect. So, we are talking about Python practice, Python exercises, this one. Now, let's quickly recap before we jump into the next sessions. Okay. We were discussing about a few important things. That is nothing but what is Python, and we talked about why Python, how Python can be used as a calculator, and we also talked about order of operations in Python. After that, we discussed about the concept called Pamda, which is nothing but sequence of operations or order of operations, I would say. In this process, we understood parentheses will be taken first, exponents will be taken second, multiplication or division, whichever comes from top to right, from left to right will be considered, and after that addition or subtraction, whichever comes first is taken. After that, I also explained you what are the advanced operations you get. In these advanced operations, I told you the differences between exponential and modulo. Modulo is nothing but if you divide a number on the left hand side with the right hand side, it will give you a remainder value. That remainder value is considered as a modulo. Perfect. Exponential is nothing but if I say 2 exponential 2, which is nothing but 2 double star 2, that means 2 twos are 4. Okay. When I say 2 star 2, that says 2 into 2. That difference also aware of it. After that, I explained you about variables in Python. Variables in Python is nothing but you have a variable to which you will assign a value to it. Now, I shown you an example with my name, my age, and my percentage. My name is a variable calling a value Amarnath. My age is a variable calling a variable age of 28. My percentage is a variable calling my percentage of 81 or 85%. This is what we discussed in the slide. After that, I gave you a tip. Tip is all about you can use print statement. Using the print statement, you can call the function you have used to get the desired output. Please remember, you can also get the output simply by calling the function, but a print statement confirms that you are done with working on the function and you're expecting it to complete the work and give the result. That's the difference. After that, we discussed about few examples. I have given an assignment or a hands-on practice session where we have taken area of rectangle is equal to height into width, height equal to 50, 40 equal width equal to 40, and we multiplied it and we got the result. Here I explained you other type of variables. In the other type of variables, I explained you about what is int, what is float, what is string, and I also explained you bool or boolean. And you should remember you can either use single or double quotes to represent the strings. This is also covered. And next one, we are talking about other operations in Python. This is our new session, so let's start working on it. Now, I'll tell you something. In here, other operations is nothing but okay. Let me show you practically what I mean to say. First read the slides. Different. Give me 1 minute. So, different types of the different data types behave differently in Python. Your int behaves differently, your strings behave differently. If I say 5 plus 3, it gives 8. If I say John plus Amar, it says John Amar. If I say John plus 25, it won't take. If I say 25 plus Amar, it won't take because it has to add either two integers or either two strings. But you cannot add an integer and a string together. Okay, that is what I was trying to tell you. On integers, it jumps up, it jumps, it just sums up the numbers 5 plus 3 equal to 8, which is pretty good. Okay, now when you pass the strings and add them to join together, it will print the full name. If you take the first name as John and second name as Charlie, as Barley, and if you use a print statement, that will work perfectly well. Super. Now, since we know the plus operator is nothing but it concatenates, means it joins the left hand side one with the right hand side one. We'll print a message. Now, you know you can add two integers, you know you can sum up two strings, but what happens if you sum up a string and an int? We need to look at it now. Now, what happens if you run this one? Do you think it will work? It won't work because this is a string and this is an int. Perfect. Now, this will not work because you cannot simply sum an integer with a string. How do you fix it then? Very simple. You know BMI is an index. You know 25 is an int. For that purpose, what you need to do is you need to convert number 25 also into a string and then add BMI plus BMI is plus that number string. Very simple, boss. Not to confuse you. BMI. This is a string. Number 25 is an int, right? This is a string. This is an int. This number 25 can be converted into a string by simply saying str of 25. If you do that, it will work. I'll show you that practically. Okay, that is what has been covered in this one. You will need to use string to convert a value into a string.ppm, which will convert the integer into a string. Now, the tip in this slide will be, remember, we can only sum like types. Like type means integer with integer, string with string, like that. Let's practically do this one. Erase all the drawings. Let me go back to the pointer. Please guys, if you're not clear, pen is not working again. Okay, I will sort that out. Give me 1 minute guys. Let me erase all the drawings. Let me pause this one. Can you see it now? I think you're able to see it now, right? I'm writing it now. Okay, perfect. That's good. I got the problem. It's already perfect. Now let's do this bit practically now. Do you have any questions on this slide? Do you have any questions on this slide? Guys, quick. We have a lot of things to discuss. I want quick. Kaviyanna, did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it. Not a problem.
Perfect. Kishore, all right. Okay, very good. Now, let me show you something here. If I say I have to come out of the pen and take the pointer, erase all the drawings. Now, I can say 5 plus 8, shift enter, print. Yeah, I got 18, 13, perfect. Likewise, I can say print. I'll make the font a big, little big. If I make print 5 plus 8, I'll get 13. Super, it worked. Now, I will say print. You know the strings should always be in quotes. I'll say John, which is a string, and I'll concatenate with plus, and I wanted to give some space between John on left hand side and Barley on the right hand side. So for that I'll say John is my string 1 and Barley is my string 2. Okay, so if I do this one, let's see what happens. Now I got John, Barley. Now you proved that two integers operation worked. You proved two strings counting also worked. Now let me show you the difference if I take out this double quotes. Very simple. Let me copy this one. Let me paste it here. And if I take this out and just say John plus Barley, observe what happens. Do you remember? Do you see here? Here I got a very clear one character space. Here the one character space is missing. That is the reason to put this one is very important. Okay. The double quotes is simply adding one character space for you between John and Barley. This is perfect. Now here the important part comes. Now I wanted to add and show you what happens if I print or if I try to sum up an integer and a string. Okay, BMI means body mass index. So I'm summing up a string with an int. Will this work? First thing, will this work? Kishore and Kavi, will this work? No, because it will throw you an error message. Look at the error message. It is telling, boss, you must be string, not int, because the first one you gave is a string. Second one you gave is an int. You have to convert this int into a string so it will work perfectly. That's the important part of it. To get that done, what you need to know is you need to know how you will convert the strings into numbers and numbers into strings. So very simple. For me to get this output, okay boss, I'll show you something. I'll say string of 25 is 25, right? So if I do the same thing here, do you see this? Everyone, do you observe it? It worked, right? Now you need to do it in a proper way. How can you do that? You can do that with I can say 25. I can say BMI. I'll convert string of BMI. First I'll say my BMI is equal to 25 and I'll say string conversion of BMI is equal to str of 25. Okay, try to understand what I'm doing. You know what is a variable and you know what is a function. Now I converted my BMI into string of BMI. Now guys, BMI is a variable having a value 25. Very nice. The string conversion of 25 is now stored in a new variable called string underscore BMI. Now what I will say is my message is equal to BMI, okay, is on top of it I give 1 second, BMI is, and then I give one character space. Here this I have given one space here because I wanted space. Okay, I'll say plus my string converted value of 25. Okay, this is done, and after that I'll say print my message. Let's see what happens. You got it right? Simple thing I have done here to prove how you can sum up a string and an int. You know, to sum up an int and a string, you have to convert a number int into a string. How can you do that? You should simply say str of int, that will convert to string. Let me show you something. Do you see that? It's a class. Whenever you convert a integer into a string, it is a class that will take care of the process in the background. Like that. Do you see here? 1 second, guys. I want you to observe carefully. There is no space here, right? To get the space, what did I do? Do you see one line space here? That's the reason I got one line space, and it looks quite good here. This is the way you have to count. If at all you have to sum up, if at all you wanted to work with strings and ints. Are you okay with this slide? Are you okay with this slide? Perfect. Now let me move on to Kishore and Kavi. Are you okay? Can I move on? Superb. Now we are talking about functions. What is a function? Okay. We have written many custom functions in our machine learning first use case. So first let's understand what a function exactly means in Python. Okay. First one is a function is basically sequence of statements that collectively perform some task or group of tasks. A school student sentence of a function. Very simple. You have different tasks and you are grouping up all those tasks to form a function. Or a function is basically a sequence of statements, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. You're combining all these statements to come up and form a function. Superb. We always call a function by name. Perfect. This is also very clear. After that, we have already encountered certain functions like type of 23. Type is a function and 23 is an argument. The way how we can understand is the name of the function here is type. Okay. Now, type is what? It's a data type. What are you giving here? You are asking for the data type of number 23. When you know a function is named as type, and within that you have a closed open parenthesis and closed parenthesis, whatever you put in the open parenthesis and closed parenthesis, that is called argument of the function. Just remember that. Now, expressions in the parenthesis is called argument of the function. That's what I was trying to tell you. Now, the argument is a value or a variable that we are passing into function as input to other function. Now, this type of 23, I'll show you after this one. The type of 23 will give an output called int. Like that, type of data science journey with ANR will give your output string. Now, whatever you're talking within the argument area, that can be a value or that can be a variable which can pass to function as an input to the function. Perfect. Now, the final statement I would like to make here is, therefore, a function takes an argument and returns a result. Perfect. Let's do this one practically. Is everyone clear on this slide? Do you have any questions? Guys, do you have any questions? Now, let me go back. I'll say I have to erase all the drawings, come back to the pointer, erase all the drawings, come back to the pointer. Now, if I say type of 23 int, if I say type of string, you get that? So this is the function name, this is the function name, or this is the argument. This is the function name, this is the argument. So function will take the arguments as an input, okay, and result say give you a result, okay, perfect. Now let me move on next slide. Here there are built-in functions and user functions and standard functions, okay. When I say built-in functions and standard functions, the standard functions are nothing but Python provides you a certain built-in functions. For example, length. If I say length function, length is my function name, and whatever I define in the argument, it will go and check the length of that. For example, if I say length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it does something. If I say length of data science of journey, it says something. Let me show you that. Int has no len, okay. The reason is you have not mentioned it properly. Just see what happens. How come it worked? Guys, once again, I'm taking off the quotes and I'm just saying length of. It failed because object of type int has no length, and when I put this one in quotes, it does work. How come it's working? Because the function length would require the arguments to be defined in quotes. That's very important. Now, like that, let me show you something. If I say length of, I'll copy paste this one. I don't want to waste time. "25". How come 25? It is counting the length of characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's the length of the variable argument, length of the argument you have defined within the function, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Done. Good. Now we understood how the length function works. Like that, I have a min function, which I would say min of Python. Can you guess what happens here? It gives the minimum number. Okay. What's the what's the what's the first one? The first one is P. But observe something here. If I take out the capital and give the small letter P, you're getting H, because A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H is the first letter. So that is the minimum letter. Like that, if I say max of Python, guess the number? The maximum number here is Y. So you'll get Y as output. Perfect. Okay. That is the difference between len, min, and max. Now, these functions are not only limited to strings, they can operate on set of values. We'll see that in the later slides. Like that, you should not treat the names as a built-in functions, but you have to treat them in the way you are working on the giving an input and getting the output. Okay. Are you okay with this slide? Can I move on? Both of you clear? Perfect. Now, let me come back to one of the important concepts called as type conversion functions. The type conversion, I think I've given assignment for you here. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Now, you understand carefully. If you don't understand this, you'll do mistakes. I have an assignment after this, so please stay focused. You have an assignment after this slide, so you have to understand and do it very carefully. Now, let me take my pen. We can also use certain built-in functions to convert one data into other data. For example, converting a string into integer, integer into string. Okay. Now, when I say int, it will only take a value and converts it into an integer. If it can, it will do it. Otherwise, it will return an error message. So, the int of anything will convert that argument into an integer. If it can do it, it will do it, else it will fail. That's the beauty of it. When I say int 23.45, it just says 23 as my output, because 23.45 is a floating value. It is converting that floating value into an int with 23. Like that, you have data science journey with ANR. When I say convert data science of data with ANR into an int, it does convert that into a proper string into int. Now you can see the result. We'll do it in one minute. Float. Float converts any integers and strings into floating point numbers. I'll show you that practically. The float will return an output called 2.0. For example, I'll show you that. String, it converts its argument to a string. String of 1, 2, 3 will convert into 1, 2, 3 in quotes. Let's do this bit practically now. Now, when I say int of 23.45, I'll simply get result as 23. Now, if I say string of 23, do you see that? Now, like that, what was I explaining to you here? Int of, 1 minute, int of data science, let me not waste time. Do you see this? Invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay, it cannot convert that one into this one. Now, if I do the same thing with string, let's see what happens. Because you cannot convert that works. Okay. Now, if I say float of 2, it will say 2.0 because you're converting a data type, you're converting an argument of 2 with 2.0. Now, if I say string of 123, that 123 will be converted into 123. Like that, you cannot convert a text or a string into an integer, but you can convert an integer into a string. Okay? Now, are you clear with this point? If you are not clear, please let me know. You need to do an assignment now for me. You all have Jupyter Notebooks installed. Please open the Jupyter Notebooks for me right now. Quickly. Open Jupyter Notebooks for me. Kishore, please open the Jupyter Notebook. If I am taking two numbers here, I'll say min 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is the minimum number in this? Okay. Now, I'll do the same thing here. I'll say max. What's the max number in this? 9. That's it. Now, okay. So you're using tablet Kavi. Okay, no problem. That's fine. This is what the problem is. I told I want everyone's attendance. Only two guys have joined. I will leave it to their their wisdom, I would say. From tomorrow, please, when you are attending the class, please make sure you have a Jupyter notebook installed so you can practice the exercise on the go. That will save your time. You will not need to spend an additional time to practice. I'm going very slow for you guys because I want your foundation blocks to be strong. So from tomorrow, please get your laptops, have your Jupyter notebooks ready, and for every topic, I have an exercise for you. We can do it that way, which will build a lot of confidence in you. This is also done. Now, let me go back to my Jupyter notebook. So, before going to Jupyter notebook, I want to show you something. This is the assignment. Carefully observe. Everyone, please carefully observe. The assignment here is you need to calculate the area of a square where length of one edge is 8.9 and this is stored in a variable square underscore area. Now, very simple. You will have a variable and a value. The variable name is square underscore area and the value should be 8.9. Now, store the type of square underscore area in square area type. Okay. Store it in square underscore square area type. convert the area into an int and store it in square area int. Very simple. Requirement number 1. Requirement number 2. You will have a variable assigned to a value 8.9. You need to get the type of the function. Type is the function, and within the function you will give the argument. The argument is nothing but area underscore square underscore area. Perfect. And the requirement number 3 is convert the area into it and store it into square area int. Now this one, square underscore area, must be converted into an int, and that should be stored in a variable called square underscore area underscore int. Perfect. After that, again convert the int into str and store it in area square underscore area underscore str. You have 4 steps to do. Very simple. Taking a variable, assigning a value, and after that understand the type of the argument. After that, convert the area into an int. After that, convert into string again. Okay, let's do this bit practically now. As you don't have Jupyter notebooks, I'm doing it for you. But tomorrow I want you to do it, so that way you learn more. Now, my first requirement is take a variable square into area, and you should have 8.9 exponential 2 times, right? Because square of area is nothing but area into area. I'll show you something. I'm just showing you something. Let me write the whole logic again. If I do this one, if I say square of area, just see what I'll get. 79.12. Like that, if I say 8.9 into 8.9, it will be the same thing. So do not confuse yourself between exponential 2 and multiplication of 2. Again, if I do 8.9 dot star 2, it will just take square underscore area. 17.8. That's the difference. So now I'm coming back to my statement. I have taken a variable and my variable has a value. Super, understood. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new variable square underscore area underscore type. For that one, I'm going to use a function type, and that should have an argument square area. Okay, perfect. So what happens this, here I'm checking my data type. After this one, I'm going to get the int. For that one, I'm saying square area underscore int, which is nothing but int of square underscore area. Likewise, I am also converting the string square area underscore string is equal to str of square underscore area. Now I'm running this one. If I say square area type, that's a float, because 89 into 89 is 17.8. 17.8 is a floating value. So when I said type of 17.8, very simple, boss. This is a value. 8.9 into 8.9 is 79.2. That's the value. That value is stored in a variable called square underscore area. Okay. Now, I am asking type of square area, means type of 79.2. What is type of 79.2? It's a float.
It's a decimal value.
Exactly. Now, I am asking like that. I am asking convert the square area into int with string into conversion. So all this while, 8.9 into 8.9 is 79.21, which is a floating value. When I convert this floating value into int, I'll just get 79, not 79.21. Now, when I convert that 79 into a string, that will be put into quotes. Let me show you that. Erase all the noise. Yeah, let me help you with that. So square area type is done. Let me remove all the drawings. Let me go back to the pointer. So square area type is done. Square area int, if I say, let's see what happens. 79, because the float is converted into an int. Like that, if I say square area underscore string will always be into quotes. It will say 79.21. This is it. Hope you are comfortable on this slide. Okay, perfect. That's good. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, mathematical functions. Mathematical functions are very important, guys. All you need to understand is, if you remember, we have imported many classes from sklearn, pyplot, from matplotlib, from matplotlib, pyplot as plt, like that. So Python provides us with a module called math, which has certain functions and variables that will help us in doing the mathematical calculations. As simple as it is. Functions in math will return an output with float. Before we can use a module, you have to import it. Perfect. I understand that. Now, basically, to access one of the functions, we need to specify the name of the module and the name of the function. For example, import math is the module, and from that module, you need to import the function. The module and the function will be separated with a dot. I repeat, the module and the function will be separated with a dot. When I say from scikit-learn dot import map.lib, scikit-learn to the scikit-learn is a module, and from that module I am importing a function called matplotlib. For example, I'm telling you. Okay, now whenever you are accessing the functions, please be aware it is separated by a dot called as dot notation. Let's take an example. Guys, I'm talking about this one here. Do not confuse this bit. One second, guys. Excuse me. Okay, now if you see here, I'm using a module called math, and from math module, I'm using a function called the log 10 of 1000. Now what it does is, it will calculate the log to the base 10 and will return 3. Because simple, it is kind of calculating the remainder of thousands and a log of 10. Log of 10 means 10, 10, 10, 10, like that. Now, the math module also provides a function called log. and that is nothing but the computer's logarithm base. Now, when I say math cos of theta, simple guys, this theory part will be quite little boring, I know, but we have to understand the theory and then jump into practicals. So this function here is math dot cos of theta. This is going to find the cosine of radians and return 1 in this case. I don't care what it returns, but I want to understand how Python works. Now, the name of the variable in this is a hint that cos and other trigonometric functions like sin theta, tan theta works. This will take the radians. That is perfect. Like that, you have an expression dot math dot py, and this expression will get the variables pi from the math module, and the value of this variable is approximate of pi. So don't worry about it. It's just telling how your sine theta, cos theta, and the parameter works. Okay. So for example, let's take math dot square root of 4. It will calculate the square root of 4 and return 2. Let's check that. Okay. First thing, I'll directly do it. I'll show you what I'm trying to prove here. Okay. When I say math dot sqrt of 4, you know why it failed? I did not import the module math. So import math and then say math dot sqrt. See, when I say yes and tab, it's saying sine of h, square root of h, because it the module math knows what are the important functions available in that. Now, if I say square root of 4, it returns 2 because that's the function and it is doing the way it should do. Now, square root of 4 means nothing but 2 into 2 is 4, right? Like that, if I say square root of 9, let's say square root of 15. 3.87. Let's do square root of 81. 9. Let's do square root of 64. Okay. Now, you need to start thinking practically that we have implemented square root hell lot of times. See here? Do you see this? You imported numpy as you have already installed. Do you see here, guys? np dot square root of scores. Do you see here? np dot square root of tree underscore msc. Okay. Do you see here? np dot square root of lin underscore lin minus msc. This is meaning that you are slowly understanding the concepts that came in your workshop. Okay. Till clear, everybody's happy? Any questions till this point? Kishore and Kavi, happy? Any questions till this point? Kavi, any questions?
No, I'm okay.
Super. Now let's jump into next slide. Now, this assignment for you. First thing is import a math module, calculate the square root of 56.98 and store it in a variable of square root. Again, calculate the sine of 26 degrees.
It's 6 hours.
Store it in a variable sine of degree. Calculate log to the base e for 1000 and store it in the variable log_e. As you don't have Jupyter notebooks today, I'll do it for you. It just takes 1 minute. Let's do it now. Did you understand the question clearly, guys? Folks, did you understand the question correctly? Very simple. Import the module, create a variable, and your variable should store the value 56.98 and then simply calculate the square root of it using the formula. Okay, now import
math is like pandas only way.
Yeah, exactly. Import math. Okay, done. I'm creating a variable. My variable name is square_root, and in this one what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement math dot. I just say yes and tab. Do you see that? It got square root, right? Now, what is the value? The value I said is 56.98. So this is, I'm calculating the square root. Likewise, I need to calculate the sine degree. Sine degree for what? What is the sine degree variable's value? 26 degrees. It's 26 here. Okay. So I would say math dot si. Do you see that? You got sine. Okay. My sine is 26. Whenever I deal with sine, I have to divide by 360 degrees. Okay. 360. Again, my sine degree is nothing but my sine value divided by 360 into 2 is a formula. Don't worry about it. It's just a formula. Okay. Math dot pi. Okay. I'll show you that formula. Give me 1 minute. Likewise, I have a log_e variable. My log_e variable should have math.log of 10,000 or 1000, I would say. Now, if you do this one, syntax error, because I forgot to start an other bracket here. Okay, because this, guys, carefully observe, guys, don't do these mistakes. This bracket is the father, this bracket is the child. Okay, this bracket is the father, this bracket is the child. That's the reason it gave invalid syntax. If you guys focus on the error message, that will save a lot of time in Python. It's not on Python, it's everywhere, but programming mindset is important. Go to the pointer. Now if I run this one, perfect. Now if I say square_root, I got it, 7.54. To prove my case, I'll say 7.54 into 2, 56, right? 3.98. Perfect. Now if I say sine of degree, I got 0.438. That's a formula, don't worry. Now if I say log of e, you got 6.907. Perfect. So this is also clear to us. Here what you have done is you have perfectly calculated the math functions. Okay, I'll show you the sine of e degree formula. See, this is all about how you convert your sine of angle into degrees. Okay, first thing, import math. So if it is radians, you say radians of 0. If it is sine of 0, you'll say sine of math.sin of radians of 0. If it is a 30 value, you will say math.sin of radians of 30. Now what I did is I have not used radians. I simply divided it by 360 degrees and then I performed it. Okay. So this is one of the people, those who are new to the sine concepts, sine theta, cos theta, and everything, have a look over here.
Oh, these are the functions.
Functions.
Converting
Yeah,
data.
exactly. Okay.
What is the use of those sine and
No, they're just mathematical functions. You are trying to know how Python works. You understood about a function length, min, maximum. Like that, you need to know the math functions, math modules, and within the math modules, there are several functions. That's what you are trying to do now. Okay, guys, are you clear till this point? Can I move on? Any questions till this point? Perfect. Now, we are going to deal with other important concept called as random number generator. Okay, the random number generator is very simple. Very good. Guys, please focus. This is very important because this also came in our random sampling, stratified sampling, and also, we are converted the imputer, mean, median, and all these things. So understand the concept carefully. And if you have any questions, please ask me then and there. You can stop me. The random number generation is pretty awesome. The random module provides functions that generate pseudo-random numbers. It returns a random floating value between 0.0 and 1.0, but it also includes 0.0 but not 1.0. When I say random number, it can give me anything between 0.0 and 1.0. It includes 0.0 but ignores 1.0. Super. Every time you call random, you get the next number in a long series. And if you want to see the sample, we can run the code here. But remember how the whole random concept works. Now, I'm taking this for you. Indentation is important, so be careful. So I have to take this one to that stage, and this one will also come there. Will this work, guys? Will this work? Kishore and Kavi, will this work? Quick, will this work? It will or it won't?
0 to 9, 0 to 10 we have to mention, no?
No, it won't work because I have not imported my random module. I'm talking about random numbers, right? I'm talking about random number generation. Random number generation is being done by a module called random. Without importing it, let me show you what happens. Unindentation does not match any outer indentation level. Okay, so if I just say import random, it worked. Now I'll take this off because I wanted to show you how it works. It did work, strange. Without importing the random, it worked. Okay, it worked. That's fine. No worries. So random, it's not needed to import the random module. It will run in the Go. That's fine. Now, if you see here, 0.625, 0.613, 0.375. Okay, every time is different. 0.515,
why?
That's a random number generator. Every time it generates a random number. Okay. Now again 0.376, 0.923,
How
0.
is it is picking up from it?
That's a random functionality. Okay. I give you. Okay. I'll show you something. Wait.
Type spelling.
What happened? It's a module. Module is nothing but a packaged functionality where it has a kind of formula written in it and it will do the work the way it should do. Simple. When I say length of Python, when I said min of Python, how did min of Python take an H? How did
All
max of Python took Y? How? That's a function. You're just applying that function on your word Python, and it is giving the minimum letter in Python is H. It is giving maximum letter in Python is Y. Like that, random is one of the module. In that random, okay. If I say, look at here, import random, okay, random dot tab. See how many functions here in random module.
yeah, but it can pick like one or two number or why it is like decimal.
That's what I'm saying. It returns a random floating value between 0.0. Okay, let's forget about it. Okay, I'll show you something. This is how you need to sort out all your questions, otherwise you won't enjoy the course. Okay, look at this, guys. Carefully observe. I'm just saying random of a number. Here you applied random dot random. Okay, here I'm just saying random. Import module object failed, so that's fine. Just say import random and then say random. Module original. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I have not imported it. So what I'm trying to tell you is I'm just trying to explain you how the whole random works. So to just avoid any confusion, guys, very simple. I have clearly called out here what does your random do. Okay. When I say random dot random, it just generates a random float value between 0.0 and 1.0. Okay. Instead, let's imagine errors all the drawings and I'll show it this way. If you have any confusions, please park me so I can take a different turn. Now, if I say number equal to random, now see the difference. Guys, everyone please see the difference. Why is it not taking? I don't understand. Okay, that's fine. Let's park it here. I'll show you in assignment because in assignment I've covered that very precisely. Let's jump in assignment. Now, guys, Kavi and Kishore, Did you understand how the module random works? And within random, there are many functions which you can isolate or integrate with. Did you understand that clearly?
Yeah, yes,
Over to Kishore. Any doubts? Perfect. That's good. Now let's make our hands dirty again. Tomorrow, please do not do this mistake. Join the class with your laptops. Now, here you have an assignment. In this assignment, what you're going to do is import the random module first and generate a random number and store that number in the random underscore number variable. Okay, and then convert convert that random underscore number into an int using the type conversion and store it in random underscore int. So to avoid all the confusions, you have been given three step of activities. First step of activity is import the random module. Second step is take a variable called random underscore number and using that generate a random number. The random number generated will be stored in the random underscore number variable. The third step is get me the int of the argument, that is nothing but the value of random number. Okay, these are the three steps I have. Let me go ahead and start doing it. I'll erase all the drawings. I'll come back to the pointer. First one is import random. This is the module imported. I'll say random underscore number is my variable name, and this variable name will store the value which is random dot random. Okay, one second guys. Now I'm going to convert the random underscore int is equal to int of random dot random underscore number, that's the variable name. Now if I say random underscore number, that gives me a random number, and if I say random underscore int, that will convert int into a int 0 because it ignored everything from here. 0.91 is a floating with decimal, it ignored. Now if I run this again, it gave me 0.91 because I have not run the program again. If I run the program again, this time it will generate a different random number which is 0.86, and if I say the random of int, that will be 0. Let me run this again. 0.31. Okay, like this. Okay, are you all okay with this one? Happy till this point? Kishore and Kavi?
yeah, okay,
Perfect. Now let me jump on to the next one. Here we are talking about making your own functions. Python has different types of functions, built-in functions and custom functions. Before you jump into making your own functions, always remember we can define a new custom functions by giving a name and sequence of statements that executes when the function is called. I repeat the statement. We can define our new custom functions by giving a name to the function, and that function should have sequence of statements that executes when the function is called. I repeat the statement. We can define the new custom function by giving the name and the sequence of the statements that executes when the function is called. I have called out 3 times because if you understand this sentence, your journey becomes smooth in understanding the functions. Your function should have a name. When I called Kavi, Kavi will say yes, Amar. When I called Kishore, Kishore will say summer. Your name is Kavi. Your name is Kishore. Like that. Every function will have a name. When I call that name, all the statements that are encoded within that function should be executed. Okay? That's very important thing. Once we define the function, we can reuse the function over and over throughout our program. Okay? Now, I have a function print underscore name, which will print my name. Whenever you are going to start writing a function, it should start with the prefix def. When I say def, that means the new function is starting. Anything after def will be the function name. Once the function starts, the indentation will come into existence. Indentation is nothing but the 4-character space after you give the function name. Once again, I repeat, once again, guys.
At least
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. So let's jump back to the session. Now, what happens is I am repeating it again. Very simple. Def is nothing but a keyword that indicates that this is a function definition. Okay. The name of the function is print underscore name. If you are confused where I am, I'm here. I repeat, def is a keyword that indicates that this is a function definition, which means function is going to start from here. For my function, print underscore name is the function name. Super. The rules of I'm here. The rules of function names are the same as of variable names, which means your function name can be in letters, your function can be in numbers, and some punctuation marks are legal. But the first character can't be a number. That's the birth of a function looking like. Now, you can't use you can't use a keyword as the name of the function, and you should avoid having a variable and a function with same name. Okay? Now, the empty parenthesis after the name indicates that function doesn't take any argument. Later, we'll build the functions to take the arguments as the inputs. There are two kinds of functions. The functions that takes the arguments within the parenthesis, and the functions that won't take the inputs in the parenthesis. The empty parenthesis mean, boss, I'm not taking any arguments. I will give you the result based upon the statements you give to me to execute. Perfect. Okay. Now, are you clear on this slide? Are you clear on this slide? I think so. Good. Let me move on to the next one. Now, here, always remember The first line of the function definition is called the header. The rest is called the body. Okay. Now, this is the header. This is the body. Okay. Now, the header has to end with a colon. That's what I did. Continuation. This slide is nothing but making your own functions continuation. The header should always close with a colon. I repeat, guys, do not get confused. The first line of the function definition is called the header. The rest is called the body. Header has to end with a colon, and the body has to be indented. When I say indented, indentation is nothing but 4-character space. By convention, whenever def is called as definition of the function, once you say def, you'll give the function name. Once you give the function name, you will have the parenthesis of open bracket, closing bracket. Some functions will take the parameters arguments in the parenthesis. Some functions won't take it. When it says I'm not taking anything in parenthesis, it means I'll go and execute the statements which you give after the indentation. Now, I told you very clearly that the header has to end with a colon and the body has to be indented. Super. That's perfect. Now, let's try something by saying print type of print underscore name. Okay. When I say this, the syntax for calling the new function is the same for all the built-in functions. Okay. Let me show you that. Give me 1 minute. I'll go and use this one. 1 minute, guys. This is my function name. It has not copied properly. Let me copy it again. Why is it not happening? Okay, that's fine. I'll write it down for you. No worries. Def is the definition of my function name. Def is the definition of my function, and my function name is print underscore name. I'm having a closing parenthesis and opening parenthesis, which means that it doesn't take any arguments. It just runs the block of code. I have defined my function and I give a function name. So the function name should end with colon. Once you are done with the colon, the indentation starts. Perfect. And I'm giving the name. Name is nothing but data science journey with ANR. That's done. And now I'll say print of what? Print of my name. How can I say that? I'll say my name is place space comma name. Okay. If I call this out, it is executed. Now if I say print underscore name, see what happens. My name is data science journey with ANR. For the same thing, if I say print of type of print underscore name. Okay. Now I'm applying a function. See guys, I'm applying a function type on my argument print underscore name. Print underscore name is my function, this function. So whatever the output your function gives, that will be stored in this parenthesis, and it will go and convert the type and print me the result. Okay, let me do this for you.
Okay.
It says class function, which means your print underscore name is a function. That's what it is. Are you happy till this point? Did you understand what I'm saying? Are you clear till this point? Everyone, guys. Now, next one is the flow of execution. Now, here one other important thing you need to understand is execution always begins at the first statement of the program. Statements are executed one at a time. Statements are executed one at a time in the order of top to bottom. Okay, a very simple thing I'll tell you. I'm going to run this one. Get underscore name, and I'm giving a definition as my start of the function, and my function name is get underscore name. Okay, and always remember you should start with indentation, and once you have indentation, it's 4-character space. Take print and just say my name is data science journey with ANR. Okay, now will this work?
Two space only is coming. Indent. You told 4 space, but it's showing
No,
only
no,
2 space.
no, wait. See, observe carefully. Okay, observe carefully. Wait. One, two, three, four. Do you see that? Again, observe carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, okay.
Did you see that, or do you want to repeat it again? See
No,
this.
I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, perfect. You understood that. Now, wait. Now, guys, tell me, will this work or not? It won't work because execution always begins with the first statement of the program. You are already calling a function without even defining it, without even saying the function name, without closing the function start with the colon and the indentation. So instead of doing is, if I say this one, it will work. I'll just say get name here. Now if I say get underscore name, see how many times it keeps on coming, because it keeps on printing it. Okay, so what is the logic we need to make out here is function definitions do not alter the flow of executions. But remember, the statement inside the function are not executed until the function are called. When you call the function, only then the statements within the function will start executing it. A function call is like a flow of execution. Instead of going to a next statement, the flow jumps to the body of the function, execute all the statements there, and then comes back to pick up where it left off. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. One second. Very important logic. Instead of going to next statement, the float jumps to the body of the function. Within the body of function, whatever the statements are there, it will try to complete all those statements and then comes back to pick up where it left off. Now, like this, you need to create a function before you can execute it. Never call the function directly without defining the function. So the function definition has to be first executed, which is nothing but def. When I say def, blindly remember you are going to create a new function with the definition of it. Okay. Now, are you clear to this point? Now, the assignment here for you is, let me erase all drawings.
Dev means
Hmm?
dev,
Def,
dev,
def, not dev, def.
dev.
Def is definition, def. Pointer, pointer. Okay. Now, if you run this one, it didn't work. When you run this one, it worked because you started the definition of your function and you called the function.
Every
Here,
function should be
you
started.
called the function without even defining the function, so it failed.
So every time, always we have to
Define the
start and
function.
define the function.
Exactly. So, hope you have enjoyed today's session. This is all what I have for today. I don't think you will need to go through this again because every concept we covered in theory is shown practically. This is how you have to start taking things for your data science journey. Now let's go back to our data science uh, Python workbook for the use case one. Okay, there are a number of things which we can relate what we discussed today. Let me go to the pointer. Okay, this is one of the module. From scikit-learn module, you have a metrics function. You imported it. Okay. Likewise, you implemented the square root. Again, numpy is a module and square root is a function, and you have applied this function as a whole on one of the variable called forest codes. Okay. Where is my custom functions? Yeah. See here, you are defining a function. It has an initialization as the name. Every function will have an open bracket, closing bracket. Here you have parameters, arguments, because this function will first take the input parameters and start executing on it. Colon started, the indentation started, the program completed here. Again, I have a new definition, which is nothing but the new block of code. Again, just remember what I told. I told you the header has to end with a colon and the body has to be indented. On top of it, what it would do is it will first create one flow, complete that flow, and then gets on to the other one. So in a nutshell, instead of going to next statement, the flow jumps to the body of the function, execute all the statements there, and then comes back to the point where it picked up. So this function, let me erase all the drawings and show you more clearly. This function has to be completed with this statement and then come here, finish this one, and then come here, finish this one. Okay. Now next subsequent sessions you'll understand the output of this one. That's what it is. This way, we are going to connect all the dots which we completed in our use case number 1 and use case number 2. We have completed 2 use cases successfully. Our first use case was random forest regressor and linear regression, and we used we used SVRs also. Support vector regression, we also used the cross-wall search, grid search, and everything. So let's not get back to the machine learning now, because as we are only talking about Python for data science. Now, Kavi, how comfortable are you? Are you able to connect the dots now? Are you getting
Yeah,
the sense of the feel? Yes, I'm in going right
yeah,
direction.
yeah. Now I'm getting points.
Perfect, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll upload this session in next 5 minutes.
Okay, okay.
Kishore, any questions? Any questions, Kishore? No. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.